Are you worried about not knowing what to say when you go live? Stop worrying. Welcome. What the heck was that?
Well, you had my head in your hand, so I said, "Say
So
hello."
just like the headless doctor will be making an
Yes.
appearance here. Yeah, well, I mean, I run out of things to do on when I'm doing thumbnails for live streams. So,
Dr.
and
K,
I
the
have
head drinker.
options. I have very few options with Dr. Kayvon K's head. So I could use the Mexican one. That was actually kind of fun, where he's got the little sombrero on
Well,
there.
this is what is it? The Day of the Dead from Mexico thing for me. You know?
It could be a day to day. Let me see. Is it a
Calavera?
Yeah, it's a calavera.
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 It's called the
It's a-
calavera.
It's a
Calavera.
calavera. It's a well, think of the calvarium when you were doing anatomy in med school. That's the other name for the skull coming out of Latin. Boy, we are not doing anatomy today. Today we're talking, well, we can talk about anything clearly. And
Okay.
so the question is how do you deal with the topics that you're going to pick, or if you have that fear of running out of things to say? And the guy who's best equipped to tell you what to do if you're running out of things to say is that one.
Is me?
Okay.
Me.
Talk to me. Tell me to stop worrying.
Sure. You know, you should never run out of things to say.
Should.
Do you know why you should never run out of things to say?
Why?
Because we all have lots of things to talk about. We all have an expertise in something. Usually the only thing that's going on in our head is, do people really want to hear what I have to say? And that's the first thing that we've got to get over. But I have a real simple process for figuring that out.
Okay, process me.
Would you like to hear about it?
Yes.
No. Oh, man, yes. Yes, I do.
All
Wait,
right.
there's more. Tell us more.
And there's more.
Well,
So the simple process that I typically use is I'll go out and I'll create a matrix of subjects.
With Neo?
No Neo in this matrix.
Or Mr. Anderson?
Mr. Anderson, maybe Mr. Anderson. So I'll go out and I'll create a matrix of topics that I want to cover within a particular subject. So let's say we want to talk about video, since that's kind of my specialty. So I mean, we could be talking about long form video. We could be talking about short form video.
Man. By the way, I hate to interrupt, but we have a special guest who's shown up also.
Oh,
There she is.
Here.
Hi.
Speaking of not running out of things to say, Cassandra Jolie, who's never lost.
This one never runs out of things to say.
No,
This one, or go down there. Go this
Do
one.
you
This
ever?
one. This one never runs out of things to say.
Do you ever run out of things to say, Cassandra?
You know, I have moments like that. I'm hoping I don't have a moment like that today with everybody.
No.
But it's so good to see everyone, Dr. V and John and Kayvon. Good to see you,
Good to
John.
see you there. Yes.
Dr. Kayvon K, craft finder, and
Running out of things to say is
Yeah.
a strange concept. It has happened to me twice in my life.
How did that date go?
Now, the one I think the most challenging point is for people who are introverted. Obviously, that's one of their biggest challenges. Yeah, you're introverted.
Are you really an introvert?
I am a natural introvert who's transformed into being semi-ambivert, because I'm basically at heart an introverted performer who appears to be extroverted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Introvert does not mean shy. It means I don't like people.
Correct.
Well, John hates people.
I say it all the time.
Are you, Dr. Kayvon, are you an introvert?
I am, yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Well,
So
here's
you-
the main thing that is the difference between the main thing about the introvert or extrovert is how you recharge. Introverts, they recharge when they're by themselves. They need their alone time. And extroverts, they recharge when they're surrounded by people, so they have more energy. So for me, going to a gathering and all of that actually drains all my energy. So after that, I need to like unplug from everyone and everybody, just be by myself to recharge.
For about 5 weeks.
About 5 weeks. 6 more weeks of winter if Kayvon comes out of the groundhog hole.
I once did like 5 months of that.
Really?
Yes, the last 5 months of 2014, I rented a furnished place in Florida
Okay.
and took a sabbatical from everything and everybody in Vancouver. and I went there, and I was there by myself. There were people that I every once in a while I met or that sort of thing, but most of the time I was just by myself. If I didn't go to the gym, I wouldn't, I wouldn't have anybody to talk to.
No, that's interesting. I find I'm kind of in between because I do obviously like having people around and conversing and learning new things and the whole spiel. But I was thinking about this the other day because I was watching the show Alone on TV. You know where they put these guys out on an island out in Vancouver.
Were you watching Alone with someone?
Yeah, Andrea and I were watching Alone together.
Okay.
Yeah, but they put them on an island in Vancouver. They put them on someplace in Vancouver Island.
Oh.
Yeah.
And,
There's a lot of places that you can be alone by yourself in.
I bet.
In BC,
as opposed to being alone
with
other people.
Yeah. So it was kind of funny. It actually got me thinking. I said, how would I like being alone for that length of time? So the longest period of time that they were out was 72 days by themselves with a lot of grizzly bears.
Oh,
well, so they weren't alone. They had friends.
Well,
with 4
if you want to call them that.
If you want to call them that, you're right.
You got to worry about being eaten every other minute.
And
well, you're never alone in the bear zone.
Yeah,
that's good.
Or at the Mall of America.
Or at the Mall of America.
So did you hear about that bear that went to a bar and said, "Can I get a beer?" And they said, "Yeah, sure, you can get a beer." What's with the big paws? He says, "I'm a bear."
Where's the face palm, John?
I'm still trying to just get it.
Still processing.
No, he said, "Can I get
You must have missed part of this joke.
Beer?"
Beer.
I get it.
He had a big pause between and a beer in the middle of his conversation.
Some of us got it right away.
Yes. Anyway. So back to content development topics.
So
the topic basically is overcoming the fear of running out of things to say and just stop worrying about it and just do it. As Brian Fanzo says, you just press the damn button.
Yep. Well, that's how I got started with my show. Was my grandmother had this saying, basically just to do it. And so I remember I was supposed to do the show at the top of the year in January, and I looked up and it was March 31st, and I was like, oh my God, I said I was going to start my show right in January, and I've waited this long, and I said I just got to do it. So I took my old Samsung phone and just, as she would say, mashed the button. And I mashed the button. I went live, and I didn't even think about what it was I was going to say. I just let me get on here and achieve my goal, which is I said I was going to start my show first quarter of the year. So, yeah.
So it's like whack-a-mole for video.
Pardon?
Whack-a-mole for video.
Whack-a-mole for video.
Yeah. In the consulting work that I do, and I work with this podcast company, and actually we are putting a course together as far as content development and podcast growth and that sort of thing. So one of the topics is that how do you come up with topics so you can have not just 10 episodes, you can go on and on and on. So I have 2 favorite methods that I thought I can share with you guys on this call. Okay. One is doesn't matter what business you're in, doesn't matter what specialty you have, there are common questions that people ask you, frequently asked questions.
Yep.
Right. So if you just sit down and think of the frequently asked questions, I'm sure you can come up with 10 or 20 of them. Right there you have 20 topics. Right. It could be 20 podcast episodes, 20 blog posts, 20 videos. They could be short or long or whatever. And here's the thing: when we are experts in something, specialized in something, we know a lot more than our audience or our clients. And we know they're asking this question, but what they really should be thinking about is this other thing. So I like to think about them as an SAQ. They should have asked questions. So each one of them can lead to the other one. So you not only ask their frequently asked question, and you're not only clear that up for them, but you say, but the thing that you should have been asking is this other thing, to come back to my next video or next episode for that. So if you have 20 FAQs, you're going to end up with 20 SAQs. So right there, 40 episodes of content. And people really appreciate that, because you not only answer their question, but you take it one level deeper, you share your wisdom, and they feel, okay, this guy, this person, this guru, this expert, whatever the person, people they call him, this coach, they just opened my eye, they taught me something. So that whole educational marketing is built into that whole thing, being helpful and all of that. So that's one of the methods. What do you think about that?
I think it's good. I think there's also an echo. I think somebody's got a tab open or something.
Not me, Dr. V.
I know, because I've muted all of you except for Dr. Kayvon K, since he was.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
I don't know. Is there an echo now?
I didn't hear it.
It's some sort of I can't figure out where it's coming from.
I hear something too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's me.
It's fine.
Maybe. I don't know. Anyway. Well, it's one thing to have running out of things to say. It's another thing to have it being said more than one time at the same time.
Exactly.
So anyway.
So if that sounds good, I was going to share my second method.
What's your second method?
So the second method, I call that actually, Dr. V, if you can allow me to share my screen.
You just have to do it, and
Dr.
then I can put it on there.
So I call it the A to Z method. So basically, you take
now it's sharing all of us. It's not really. It's doing that.
Cool.
So you're going to have to actually share your screen.
If you do that, I'm going to then switch the screen.
There.
There you go.
Yes. So look, I have this thing called A to Z of productivity. I like mind maps, but you can do it on a piece of paper. So you basically put all of the letters of the alphabet, and for each one of them, you can come up with something. Like, for example, there you go. Accountability, automation, abdication, anxiety, authority, adjustment. On the topic that you're talking, you can come up with a bunch of things that they start with A, and you can have like one or two or whatever, like things for X or Q are going to be probably hard, but for many of them, you can have a lot of them. So there you go. Each one of them is another piece of topic that you can talk about. Like when in A to Z of productivity, let's talk about automation today. When it's for B, let's talk about taking bold action or batching your thing. So let me show you the power of this. Look at that.
Wow.
You can come up with this many topics, and it took me, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes to just write down these things, because you just start brainstorming and you just let it go. So I like this A to Z method. So I have done this for productivity. These are a series of content that I want to create. I have another one around profit models. So there are like 20 different, 23 different profit models.
Note the green background.
One of them could be an approach. So so that's another method of sharing your content or coming up with content topics and share them with your audience.
So just brainstorm based on the letters of the alphabet. Why was this 20 again? I talked over you, I think.
No, that the 20 was another method that there was a list of different things so marketing, but A to Z is an easy way to do it, and you basically write down the letters, and for each one of them write keywords, topics. You have you're gonna end up with a good 40 or 50 topics right there. So if it's a weekly, you have 1 year of material now.
You should have given this to me before I started.
Maybe we should do that once on a call together.
We could do. Yes, we could.
Yes, we could.
With Dr. Kayvon K, Profit Finder, Simplifier.
Yes.
So the Russian alphabet would have 33 letters, 2 of which are silent. So that would be hard for me to do, actually, because I couldn't remember.
Those would be the meditation sessions. You just sit there and say nothing.
The medication sessions.
Yeah.
So
what do you think about that A to Z method?
I like the A to Z.
That's good.
Or as we say it in Canada, A to Z method.
Z. It's better dead than Z.
If you live in the UK.
The UK.
The UK? What is UK?
UK. UK.
And if you're Iranian living in the UK, you're Ukrainian.
There you go.
Kind of,
Yeah.
I remember that.
Mhm. It's good take. So, Cassandra, how do you select topics?
When I first started out, I did two things. I went to Amazon
Mm-hmm.
and I looked on Amazon in the category of, entrepreneurship and grabbed some nuggets from there. And then I talked on that. And then another thing that I did was I would go look at certain people in my industry that were like people that I admired. And I would see what they were talking about. And I would pick a few things and then I would put my spin on it. So
Can't do it. Can't do it.
Somebody take the controls of
highlight.
Dr. V, step away from the controls and nobody gets hurt.
Controls Dr. V, especially when I'm talking.
I was trying to highlight you. Actually, it didn't work out the way I wanted it to.
Yeah, making people dizzy. So, anywho, that's what I did, and then I started, writing my own topics as I got a little bit better. But when you are looking for something, and then there were things like on another note, what I would just take on what's being said right now in the news that I can glean from that might work in my area expertise with the audience that I have. So, current topics are always a go-to.
Like Liz.
Talk about. Like the Queen, darling, Queen Elizabeth. We don't call her Liz or
It's
Liz.
Liz with the family biz.
Hey,
Royals.
I am in Canada. She's our queen.
She is the queen. Yes, she is.
She was our queen.
I thought Cassandra was our queen.
Well, yes.
In our citizenship ceremony, we swear to be loyal.
You
Yeah.
have her on our money.
Were you swearing at her? Now you got to get the money changed to Chuck.
Yeah.
Charles.
Good luck with Chuck.
Yeah. It's perfect time to switch to digital currency for Canada.
It's a perfect time to switch.
Oh, what an era. I think that, so many things have happened these last few years. It's really kind of overwhelming when you think about it. So much change and loss. And now, we have Queen Elizabeth, who has passed away, and it's just a close of another era. It's
70 years, 70 years here, 70 years there. Pretty soon you almost have a century.
She reigned a really long time. I don't think we'll ever have anybody that reigned that long again. Really.
70 years of reign is still a big flood.
It's very possible.
That's huge. That's huge. So.
But see, here's an example. You just take something out of the news, as you were saying, and you just start talking about it. And I think you can pretty much, if you have some ideas in your head, you can riff on something easily for an hour or two or whatever. If you think about it more like you're at a party and you just have a conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Another method that I find it's engaging and also it could be also audience building hack as well. Let's say in our business, entrepreneurship, content, or whatever, you find an article from a very famous source like Harvard Business Review, right? You find that, you comment on that. So review, add your points. I agree with this. I don't agree with that. So that could be your blog post or your episode on the podcast. And when you publish that, you tag the source material. So tag Harvard Business Review, tag, maybe the author of that and other people. So people who are following them, they see that tag and they come to you and they see your other point of view of that. And right there, you can have them in a way that to follow you, like, and subscribe and all of that.
And another good way to not run out of things to say, because a lot of us don't speak well by ourselves. Like, I don't know about any of you, whether you feel more comfortable speaking on your own or you'd rather have somebody speaking with you.
Yeah, definitely with somebody else.
I much better in a conversation.
I like both. When I'm really prepared, I like, talking myself.
Yeah. I can do either one, but I prefer
the
to speak.
Yeah. I like to interview people. I love interviewing other people and learning about them.
Sometimes the combination of speaking with yourself and being an introvert is not a good combination. I find myself having argues with myself and become scared. Not even lose the conversation.
It's so easy with the voices in my head.
Yeah, like it's a UN conference up there. People are having, and sometimes you say, "Oh, where were you? I haven't heard from you for a while." They show up.
UN conference.
Hey, so John, you have a number of different topics you could talk about. I see that you've changed your name to RV John. Is that because you're a real veteran, or what is that?
No, because I just wanted to hear how Melon said it.
Yeah, because when you use the Melon app, as you come in, you're announced as so it comes out as
whatever it says.
K, Profit Finder and Simplifier, and for John, it came out as John Paduchak.
Paduchak, yes.
RV John.
That's my favorite.
I just wanted to hear it say the whole thing.
But you've got chickens. You've got a real voice. You've got.
I like to think I'm a stunning conversationalist.
I enjoy our conversations, John.
Well, thank you.
Was that like with a cattle prod or with a stunning?
I don't know. I mean, I've always been pretty comfortable talking on a variety of topics. So you want to talk about nuclear physics?
What are your favorite topics?
I have a little trouble with that, but
what are your faves?
What are my favorite
topics? Yeah, aside from chickens and whatever the
chickens, RVs, marketing automation, video automation, all kinds of video things, short video, long video, streaming video.
There's a lot of video. So do you like the RV because there's a V in it? The V stands for video.
It could.
Okay.
It could. Stands for vehicle, but
vehicle. Okay. So it's a regular vehicle.
It is a recreational vehicle.
It's a revenue vehicle.
It's a revenue vehicle. We're hoping.
Now you're talking. That's right, baby.
So is there a theme that an overarching theme that you have, or Cassandra that you have, or Dr. Kayvon K that you have, an overarching theme or message or some sort of a foundational belief that you have when you want all your topics to branch off of that?
May I go, Dr. Kayvon? Okay, good. Ladies first, my dear. Okay, so for me, my pillars of my show is purpose, entrepreneurship, faith, and lifestyle. So any one of those categories or pillars, I can glean from and create conversation around or topics around. And I do.
Do all four have to be present at any given?
No. Yeah, it's like sometimes I'll speak on, entrepreneurship stuff, and then I'll, and I may add in a little piece of faith, or I may just go straight faith, or I blend how you have biblical principles around finance and money and entrepreneurship and your giftings, and I'll blend that, or it's about just lifestyle stuff, or so it just, I don't have to hit all four all the time or have a mixture, or so it just depends on what I feel like for the day. Or when I have a guest, that's always great because we get into that conversation and it kind of has a mind of its own going forward.
So if I came on your show and started swearing like a sailor, it probably wouldn't be a faith-based show.
It would not. I'd get your biscuit.
I got you.
No.
I'd get your biscuits.
I love the expression "your biscuits." I got
that from my Aunt Lola. Yeah, she reprimanded me and my cousin, which is her son, Bobby, once. And me and Bobby were always like little rascals. And she said, I'm going to get y'all biscuits if y'all don't get somewhere south. Sit your biscuits over there. And then she said that, and I just thought of Pillsbury Doughboy. And I just started laughing. And ever since then, at 16, 17 years old, maybe 15, I think it was, I just been using that over the years.
That's pretty fun.
This is my first time hearing that. So biscuit, is she trying to say business or?
No, she's saying biscuits as in your butt.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And some people use that other word like Dr. V does.
I didn't use any bad words.
They learn something new every day.
I said glutei or buttocks or gluteus.
Biscuits.
Deep within, above your piriformis muscle.
Dr. V, he's such thick.
I try to be as polite as possible, unless I'm
correct.
I like it when people say, "Get your behind over here."
Get your behind over here.
It was like it's already behind me.
I like the front of your behind.
That's the original follower.
Yeah.
So true.
Yes.
But see, but here's a great example. A conversation like this can just sort of go not so much off the rails, but it just starts in one thing to another, and then somebody tells a story like Cassandra about her aunt, who was it?
Aunt Lola.
Lola. Her name was Lola.
Mhm.
I can't sing much more because
Lola.
we're making copyright infringement. Anyway, but that's a great example. Or John starts talking about his chickens. He counts his chickens after they're hatched.
Mhm.
Do you really? Well, I guess he would have to. So how many eggs he has.
Mhm.
So John's sort of the strong, silent type a lot of times. So he lets me talk, and then
He's the mystic in our group.
he's the
He
mystic.
is. That's right. I
Yes.
usually, when I come in with something, it's usually big.
Boom.
I'm
Ooh.
going to call him our Buddha boy.
Yes. He's processing in the background and listening very carefully and summarizing and
And then,
comes up with
bam.
one pearl of wisdom and boom.
One kernel of wisdom.
one
No,
kernel,
pearl of
Huge.
wisdom.
Oh, I thought it was a kernel of wisdom,
No,
like
pearl.
KFC.
diamond.
I was like,
You have chicken on your mind.
I do have chicken on my mind right now.
Are you hungry?
I still haven't
Yes.
had breakfast. This is where intermittent fasting goes wrong.
Yes, like he's talking about food all the time. Now that he's on intermittent fasting.
I got to get rid of my tortilla weight at this point.
Oh gosh, your wife.
So you were
is a-
asking about if we have a theme in our messages.
Yeah.
I have two topics that is among everything. One is productivity and performance, and the other one is profitability. So I like to
Mhm.
look at it as in I help my clients with income and impact
Ooh.
to
Ooh.
improve everything. So that's the message on the top. But the thing
Yeah.
that I'm aware of, the question that should have been asked, is the common thread is really helping people get out of their own way when it comes to those things. So that's the thing that I don't say it, but I work on it. But what I talk about is productivity and profitability, income and impact.
That's the second right answer.
The what?
The second right answer, as Dean would say.
A disciple of Dean Way.
Uh-huh.
It's the Dean Way.
Dean would say, that's the second right answer.
Second right answer.
The second right answer.
That's what he would say.
Yeah, that's the second right
That's the second right answer.
I think for me, it's about having fun and laughing, and if business isn't fun, you ought to get out of it and get a job, or just go surf someplace. But along the lines of what Kayvon was saying, for me, it's a question of to get unstuck and make your own luck, and the unsticking is the sort of the anti-procrastination expert. Who's this guy over here? There it is.
Which one are we talking about? Oh, John.
John, it's listed on his LinkedIn profile, so it must be true.
It must be true.
It
It's
must
on the
be-
internet.
I didn't put it there
It
either.
must-
No, he didn't put it there.
And I didn't put it there. So it must be true. Somebody thinks that of me.
Yes.
Wow, John.
Yeah, wow, it's classy.
That is classic.
I know.
Classy. Hey, so
I get,
now
I get a lot of laughs out of that one though.
Yeah.
Now we talked about coming up with topics. I think
Yeah.
next week we can talk about now. Okay, now you have a topic, how to
Mhm.
structure your content around what to say, how to say it, what first, what second, and how to kind of bring up together. So the structure of content could be our next week topic.
Sounds
structure.
good.
I like that, Dr.
Structure?
Structured.
The structure of your topic.
Like this was so carefully choreographed and structured today. So
Well, we talked about what to say. Next week we're gonna say how to say it.
how to say it? Say it with flowers.
Yes.
Flowers.
Can never go wrong.
You can never go wrong with that.
Yes.
Well,
All
that's
right. So I think we've occupied our space for the last half hour,
Yes.
and
Nice.
I thank you all for showing up, and those of you in the comment section. We already know that most of you watch this on replay, particularly on the Tube of You, as well as on the Book of Faces. And so we would appreciate it if you use the hashtag replay so that we know that you're there and that you're watching. Should you have any questions or comments or other topics, let's say, for example, you don't like Dr. Kayvon's K, or his other K, or his other letters that he's been using. Just pop in any suggestions for future topics. We'll be more than willing to look at that. And if we have all agreed right now that we're going to be talking about how to say it, is that correct?
how to say it.
So you've seen the topic being chosen on the fly within a live stream. That is, walking across a tightrope without a net. So here we
Maybe
go.
we can do an impromptu session. People come in and just give us a topic and we go.
Or improv. I'm thinking improv, baby.
Yeah.
Improvisational topics. All
yes,
right.
and
Yes,
So we
and
could dig at Jasper. He's always good for a laugh.
to do what?
Or we could dig at Jasper. He's always good for a laugh.
Oh, Jasper's always good for a laugh. Jasper, every time I create a title for a Mexican food title for my
Get
wife's
Cinco de
blog,
Mayo in it.
it's always Cinco de Mayo. So every fourth or fifth one is Cinco de Mayo. Could be Christmas, but Jasper.
okay, we're back on the food topic of food again.
Yeah, well,
Dr. Ree's hungry. Let's
all
let him
I've got
go.
is water here.
Yes.
Thirsty and hungry.
Yes.
Thirsty and
Have a
hungry.
great week. See you guys next week.
Oh, so
Bye bye. Let's go
Are we
eat.
leaving now? I'm the one in control.
Bye, everyone.
I'll tell you when I'm good and ready to leave.
Yeah.
Okay.